Ever wondered how much control you truly have over your life? Think about this. Envision yourself navigating a ship through the immense ocean of existence. You are the ship's captain as well as a passenger. You hold the ability to steer, to sail through choppy waves, or to relax in calm waters. We refer to this as personal responsibility. Being responsible for oneself is a manner of life, not simply an idea. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, accepting that every choice you make, no matter how small, affects your path. Let's take a trip down memory lane and bring to life the story of Sam. Sam was just a regular guy who had a 9-to-5 job and survived payment to paycheck. Sam, like a lot of us, felt stuck in this boring circle of life. However, Sam made the decision to rebel one day. He made the decision to seize responsibility for his choices and the course of his life. Sam began modestly. He started saving money and making objectives for himself, and he gradually started to see results. He learned that by altering his behavior, rather than placing the blame elsewhere, he could take control of his situation. He came to see that he was the architect of his life, rather than its victim. Personal responsibility empowered Sam. It offered him the bravery to aim high, dream big, and succeed. It was not fate that turned his life around, but rather his decision to accept responsibility. Personal responsibility, you see, is not about placing the blame on oneself. It's about realizing that you can influence the course of your life. It's about comprehending that you are the wind, strong and able to change course, rather than merely a leaf being carried by the wind. Thus, as you can see, the catalyst for significant change is individual responsibility. Imagine being stuck in a cycle of blame and victimhood. Now imagine breaking free. Let's explore the realm of personal responsibility and transformation with two tales that eloquently convey this idea. The action-packed world of corporate finance is the setting for our debut narrative, introducing Jane, a gifted analyst who was never given the chance to advance. She felt stuck and attributed her boss's partiality for her lack of advancement, but Jane made the decision to change her viewpoint one day. She began to assume responsibility for her professional development. Rather than placing the blame on her supervisor, she asked for input, improved her abilities, and made connections in her field. What was the outcome? She was in charge of her own team within a year. Jane's narrative serves as an example of the value of individual responsibility in a work setting. Let's switch to a more intimate situation now. Introducing Tom, a man who found it difficult to lead a healthy lifestyle. He would frequently attribute his bad habits to his family's love of junk food and his hectic schedule. Tom received a wake-up call one day. He came to understand that his health and happiness were entirely his responsibility. He began making little changes to his diet and went for walks in the mornings as a means of leading a better lifestyle. Tom was dedicated even if it wasn't easy. In the present day, Tom is in better health, has more energy, and is happier. His metamorphosis is a striking illustration of how taking responsibility for oneself can result in substantial personal development. At first, Jane and Tom were both caught in a victimization and blame loop. However, they were able to liberate themselves and realize their objectives as soon as they made the decision to accept personal responsibility for their life. Instead of placing the blame elsewhere, they turned their attention to the things they could control: their behavior, mindset, and reactions. These stories demonstrate how accepting personal responsibility may revolutionize our lives on both a personal and professional level. It's important to realize that we have the ability to change our own lives, rather than holding ourselves responsible for everything that goes wrong. Even if the path is not always simple, it is all worthwhile in the end because of the transformation that lies ahead. What if I told you that the idea of personal responsibility is supported by science? You did really hear correctly. Science and study have investigated this seemingly ethereal idea and have produced some intriguing results. Numerous studies have demonstrated that living a more satisfying life can result from accepting personal responsibility. Let's investigate how. In psychology, mental health and personal responsibility are frequently associated. A recent research in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that those who embrace responsibility for their actions, think they can make changes in their life, and believe they can grow from their mistakes, are more likely to be mentally well. They are less stressed, depressed, and anxious. To put it simply, accepting responsibility for one's choices and actions might be essential to mental wellness. However, it doesn't end there. Assuming personal responsibility also has a significant effect on our interpersonal connections. People who take ownership of their behaviors are more likely to have fulfilling and long-lasting relationships. According to research published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, they are more likely to be seen as dependable, honest, and real. According to study, taking responsibility for our actions might actually make our relationships with others stronger. And how about general life satisfaction? According to a research published in the Journal of Happiness Studies, those who accept responsibility for their situations in life report better levels of life satisfaction. They experience increased capability, control, and happiness at the end. This notion of personal responsibility is supported by ideas in neuroscience such as neuroplasticity. Our experiences and behaviors can cause our brains to alter and adapt. This implies that we have the ability to actually rewire our brains for the better via accepting responsibility and making an effort to change. So we can see that science not only supports, but also emphasizes the value of individual responsibility. It demonstrates to us that taking responsibility involves more than just owning up to our mistakes. It also involves influencing our relationships, mental well-being, and general level of life pleasure. Clearly, personal responsibility isn't just a feel-good concept, it's a scientifically proven path to a better life. Life will inevitably provide challenges, but we have complete power over how we will handle them. Let us discuss a man by the name of John. He was a common man with a remarkable past. Opportunity was as scarce in his rough neighborhood as a drop of water in the desert while he was growing up. The world around him seemed to be prescribing a route of adversity and difficulty. John, though, took a different route. John made the decision to accept responsibility for his life. He placed no responsibility on his upbringing, his surroundings, or his lack of finances. Rather, he chose to concentrate on his actions, his attitude, and his readiness to change and develop. He began by reading any book he could get his hands on in an effort to educate himself. He saved every penny, took on odd jobs, and followed his ambition of starting his own business. Along the road, he faced many challenges, including financial hardships, self-doubt, and even the suspicion of people around him. John, nevertheless, wasn't discouraged by these difficulties. Rather, he viewed every challenge as a chance to improve and learn. He discovered the importance of financial planning and budgeting when he encountered financial difficulties. He developed resilience and self-belief while he had self-doubt. He was motivated to disprove the doubts of those who questioned him. John's story demonstrates the efficacy of individual responsibility. By making the decision to take charge of his life, he changed his situation and built a life he was proud of. And like John, we are also capable of overcoming the challenges we face in life. Accepting responsibility is the first step. It calls on us to shift our attention from blaming other people or our environment for our issues to what we can do to alter them. Every obstacle we encounter presents a chance for improvement. Furthermore, when we own up to our mistakes, we gain control over our fate and the ability to weather any storm that may arise. By accepting responsibility for our deeds, we give ourselves the strength to conquer any obstacle in our path. The most powerful person in your life is you. Do you believe it? Together, we have explored the spheres of personal responsibility, witnessed its transformational impact, dug into its scientific foundation, and spoken about how to move beyond roadblocks. Let's take everything home now. Being responsible for oneself is a manner of life, not simply an idea. It's about realizing that you are the one in control of your life, the creator of your goals, the controller of your fate. It's about understanding that you have the ability to influence your own destiny rather than relying on other events. It's about accepting that your circumstances are dictated by your decisions, deeds, and attitudes rather than by luck or fate. You give yourself the ability to design the life you want when you accept responsibility for your actions. You begin searching for answers rather than assigning blame for your issues to other people or external factors. You go from living your life as a passive bystander to an active participant, from responding to events as they arise to actively creating them. Take a time to consider your life. If you accepted complete responsibility for your decisions, actions, and results, how would that look? How would it feel to know that you can lead your life in the way you choose and can alter the circumstances surrounding you? Never be afraid to use this power. Accept it. Use it wisely. Make use of it as fuel for your quest for fulfillment and achievement. Recall that the goal should be to become the best version of yourself, day by day, rather than aiming for perfection. And yes, there will be challenges and failures, but you have the ability to overcome them if you take personal responsibility. Every obstacle that life presents to you is an opportunity for you to grow, learn, and change. Recall that you are the only one with the ability to alter your life. Accept own responsibility and observe how your environment changes.